Hi and welcome to Friday's live trading. This is Kim Watson speaking on Friday the 22nd of January. So just early doors at the moment, waiting. It's 8:15, looking at potential setups at the moment. Nothing immediate, but just scouring these markets. I'll be back on this system in just a moment. So let's just looking through euro dollar. Euro dollar is still looking quite bullish overall, bigger picture. So potential on the euro at some point. I would like to have seen a bounce off this daily pivot this morning, and I was just looking to see if it came back. But it's looking down the shorter time frame. It was selling off just pre 8 o'clock. Maybe it's bounced into the 8 o'clock pivot here. We'll see a further move to the downside there, but. As I said, my preference here is to be on the long side of this euro, so being patient there. Cable's taken a bigger sell-off through the night here. I'm not particularly keen to get into it either way. It's come off quite a long way. It's come through its daily pivot. It's S1. May still have some further downside towards that 100 and 200. We've got news in 2 minutes coming out on the Eurozone, so you just keep an eye on what's coming out there. But not massively keen on this sell side, this pound either. It may just give a bounce at some point, so I'd rather be on the long side on the pound. It's been making new highs a lot this week. The dollar yen, it's just too choppy for me to be trading. Aussie dollar may be an alternative here. Let's have a look what's going on. Again, this has been putting lower highs in lower lows, just not far off the support of this weekly pivot level at 77.24. So just watch and see if we get some sort of bounce off this morning. But again, it's already run through from the downside. Potential looks a bit thin to me because it's pretty much done a daily range already before we get started on the markets. So that's why I'm looking. I'm going to look through some crosses. Let's have a quick look through the euro yen here. Euro yen holding up a little bit better there, but it's again, I'd rather be buying this offer some support here. It just needs to come back. I'll keep an eye on that. The pound yen, just checking once again. This one's a seller at the moment and sold off. Didn't manage the higher highs yesterday on the pound yen. It's a little bit softer from that point of view. Whilst it's been making on against the US dollar, it's been putting those high highs in. It just didn't manage to push in yesterday there. Maybe this is the soft version, and a retracement may even give a short rather than the long side. We'll watch this. It's got the potential. It's certainly looking soft there at the moment. Other pairs I've been watching lately include the Aussie yen has been way up there on the list of views. This is currently putting lower highs, low lows. It looks very soft as well at the moment. So really have this softening of some of the commodity currencies sitting there. Just looking at a bigger picture here. We're just on the Aussie yen does look soft. Yeah, just looking a bit soft at the moment. Nothing immediate. If it carries on breaking through here, could be some potential. Just again, this one's hit the daily pivot S1, finding a bit of support into that 60-minute 100 at this stage, but it looks a bit soft. I'll have to keep an eye on that and see if there's something else I can get into that, but I don't really want to be selling just at this point here. May not have a lot left in it with the S2 just down there, so it often holds things back, so just being a bit patient there. But as I say, I'll just see if there's anything, looking at the shorter time frames here, just coming through to see if there's any signs of weakness. It has been one that I've preferred to be looking at the longer side of late, obviously looking at this bigger picture here, and I can't ignore that. So I'm just a bit wary of this immediate sell-off. As I said, It may give an opportunity the other way around here. I know there's weakness on the 60-minute, but in a lot of the other time frames, well, it may have potential. So just being patient for a moment. I'll come back onto the video soon. Just looking for the sort of the strength and the weakness in these markets at the moment, and well, strongest of all the majors is the US dollar at the moment in first. The euro's looking good there in second, so may give us some opportunities. It's the pound, I'm just looking here, the pound, euro pound may be worth a view in a moment to see what's going on there. As I said, the pound has been slipping. It's only the Aussie's doing worse at the moment, which of the 7 majors I look at, that's certainly the weakest. The New Zealand dollar, where's it? Well, it's doing worse than that. Then the yen's sitting on the fence here a little bit. Of the majors then, yeah, cable's in second from worst place there, and then so we've got we see this a lot lately, particularly Aussie, New Zealand dollar and CAD all looking soft at the moment. So the commodity currencies here looking weak. Pound behind the curve compared to the euro at the moment. Euro's just holding up there a bit better, and then the yen sitting on the fence at the moment, but it's certainly as well. We've already looked at the pound yen, and it's certainly looking weak there. I'll just have a look at that pound euro and see how things are shaping up on that pairing. I say pound euro, I meant euro pound. Well, this is flown off this morning. It's certainly far from being my favourite pair to trade for this, just as it just tends to chop so much. Still got the weekly pivot above, which could yet be a draw, but it's done such a long range here. Jumping a board on this looks like it's probably too far behind the curve. It's certainly done its average true range in that from this low here across, so we'll have to leave that for now. So just concentrating on one or two pairs for now. Euro dollar being one of them. As I said, there's just coming back to its daily pivot. If it gives me a little reversal around this point, I will be looking at the potential buy. It may just be that dollar's behind the curve and it's with the pound's already sold off. Swiss is doing well this morning, but again, it's more of a risk on or risk off currency rather than the Swissy. Euro just maybe have held on too well, but we'll see. More patience needed. So looking at its price action, mainly driven at the moment by the better than expected data. France and Germany have put out their PMI data. It's better than expected, pushing up. It's affecting, the dollar's being sold a little bit on the back of it, but obviously the euro is the main beneficiary at the moment. Looks like it's up a massive amount, but in reality it's 20 pips, 22 pips, but it could be turning the corner here. It's a shame it didn't quite get down to my entry level, so it's escaped me for now. So markets have moved on here. Some good news, European good news has pushed the euro up there, taking it out of reach for a trade. There is some divergence across this. It has run into its daily R1, which may just finish it off a little bit. It has got some resistance coming in the upper time frames, which once it's pulled back, it would appear then that they've been the point of resistance. I'm not overly convinced it's going to stop here. It has, as I say, has got some divergence. We'll see. Other markets then, the pound. Looking at this, maybe I should be a bit more convinced on these that have really sold off a lot more. The pound's yet to us. We got news in 23 minutes on this pound. I was looking at it. It's starting to do quite well here. I was looking at the pound, and I'm also looking at the Aussie dollar with a potential bounce in as well. Let's just bring the Aussie dollar into play. So The pound maybe not working for me at the moment. The Aussie dollar on the shorter time frames, it's I say shorter time, it's broken its trend line there. It's going to test that now. A break back above this may trigger me if it's quick enough. If it's just a short-term retracement here, if it breaks back above this area, I'm probably quite interested in see if I can get it to run back up to its highs there. It's not a great risk reward. It's about 1 to 1.5. It may push on a little bit further. It's already come off quite so far this morning, so I'm watching that at the moment as a potential. The euro, as I said, I'm not massively convinced of a rollover here, but it might do, in which case that might just suggest dollar strength coming back through. But as I said, both the pound and the Aussie hasn't followed the route of this euro, so maybe it's suggesting we're going to get a rollover on the euro now it's had its moment. The pound had got oversold, hasn't really worked that off completely. But again, sitting on my hands waiting for a setup here. Okay, so just looking to short the euro dollar here, just sorting out position size here then, so just taking it on the room trading account I use here, 5,000 account, looking at 1% ratio, 16 pips stop. I'll talk about the trade in a second. I need to press the buttons here actually, so I need I'm actually just going to fire away and sell this as it sits here. I need to, there we go, just sold it. So I need to adjust the stop loss on it. Let's just do that. So sold the euro. Stop loss, I need to just pop up a couple of pips. So 16 pips. I think that might be enough. Let me just check. Stop 21.89. Needs to be a little bit more actually. So it needs to be a little bit higher. So I am having a go. I've got a whole series of reasons to have a go at this. No, that would be fine. That's enough. If it pushes back above this area, around this area, it's going to probably chip me out anyway. Looking at an untouched daily pivot down the bottom here, so target 21.47, let's say. It's about 30 pips. He says he's looking to cheat here at this stage. It's a bit less than that now. A bit slow in prepping the trade. There we go. 47 that'll do. And confirm that, so that's all sitting in there. Now let's have a look at this trade then. So got taken the short. It's to me it's quite aggressive in terms of what I've done here, but it's got the untouched daily pivot below. It's also got a number of other factors then. So it's run into its daily 34 there. It's 4 hourly combination here. It's run up quite well. It's run into its daily R1 area, a bit of resistance, and we've got quite good probability of the pivot. It's about 76% chance of this being hit, so it's a probability trade. Let's see if it runs. That's it, it's running. I'll leave that to go. So currently 11.32, just reviewing these markets. The euro, it started off quite well for us. It's taken a bit of a bounce. It's then moved around a little bit and having a bounce at the moment. Just wonder if this 21.78 79 2180 area will stall it, but still untouched. It's nowhere near my target at the moment on that. The euro is at this stage sitting there as the strongest currency out there, so well, it's holding its own there. The markets obviously liked yesterday's reports there, and they're liking what they saw this morning from the growth figures for the euro, and it's not rolling over. Statistically, I'm still waiting for this target to be hit, but anyway, for now then, looking at other markets for opportunities. The pound, as I said earlier, it had done pretty much. I was looking to see if it actually caught more of a on the bid side of things, but it may do this afternoon. We'll see. I'm still sort of on a bigger scale of things bullish on the pound. Dollar yen not really doing too much intraday lately. It's the best trades off of this are often the yen are cross pairs, the euro pound, euro yen, pound yen. Elsewhere, Aussie dollar still selling here. It triggered a little trade south really, but it's done so much movement here already. Well, it may just continue selling off, but if we look at the analysis here, and you just see that the strength of the currencies, this little heat map here, the euro dollar strongest, but then the weakest there, the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, pound sitting on the fence a little bit either way, yen sitting on the fence at this stage, euro the strongest in the US dollar. So not looking to do anything else on that at this stage. So here's a little quandary then. Looking at this trading account is solely focused on trading and this strategy that we've been looking at a lot in the room lately, and I've been back testing it over a year or so, and it's working really well. But here's a question for you in terms of looking at the analysis of the outcome. If you opt for effectively to reward to risk and take the profit and solely wait for the 2 to 1, you get a certain it's around about 40%, it's 47% return in the year on the strategy. So that's what it gives you in returns. If you look at taking though, at these points here, these two here, ignore this. This was a trade I just shot off at the beginning, just testing the broker platform, to be fair. Again. But this is only a set amount. I'm just working on 1% per trade of the account sitting in here. It was a test actually of XTB's platform that I started ages ago, and I've been doing various different things on it, but I just thought, well, I'm going to use this to test this strategy live going forward and see how it runs. Now there's a couple of occasions here where the rules of this particular strategy is that when you get to a one-to-one basis, you move the stop to break even. Now there's a good reason for it, and it makes a significant, because just a strategy, it makes a significant difference. If you don't do that, it reduces the win rate quite significantly if you don't do that. So or it gives you more losses, I should say, more importantly. But by doing so, there is an option that on that one-to-one series, you could take half the trade off. Now that would give you then effectively, if you take half off at that point, it will give you half at that point, and if it does run, you'll get another 1% for the second half. So effectively, you get that taking half at one-to-one will give you 1.5 to 1 as opposed to a 2 to 1. So you're actually getting a 1.5 to. So here's a question for you. This is just, I know there's only 4 results at the moment on it. It's only run, it's only had 4 trades through it at the moment. It's only run from the 17th or 16th, 15th, last Friday I traded it, put it on the system on here as a benchmark. So would you feel, I mean, this is the question. So if you get 1.5 to 1, does that would have given you 2. If you'd gone that route, you'd have had 2 more winners here. Of course, those that have really worked this out quite quickly, the extra 1% you'd have got there, you'd have lost, and you'd be sitting at this stage exactly the same amount of money. However, the question for you, and I look forward to your answers here, is do you feel more comfortable taking half the trade at a one-to-one and getting effectively, in this case at the moment, a level playing field? Same answer, although excuse me, if you look at it over time, over a year, the difference is you would have got, just looking for the actual number there, well, you'd have got 40%. So over the year, over the same time, this is compounded over a year. So you'd be up plus 40 taking this method, or plus you'd be plus 47% taking this method and just literally accepting that at times. There you go. It says a question. What would you prefer? I will leave that to you. Do let me know. Okay, so what we've got here then is in our trading room we've got more, 2/3 I'd say are happy to to just take the 2 to 1s and leave it as it is. It's an interesting point here. Quite a few though are happier taking half, which is, as I say, at this stage it'd make absolutely no difference with the results. And it's only 4 results. It's meaningless at the moment. It starts becoming much more meaningless as you go through the year. But the purpose of this is to test just one strategy on one platform, and this is being taken manually. But the idea eventually is just to automate it. However, these are all being taken during the daytime with no sort of overnight spreads that are widening or anything like this. And I'm looking to see if we get one of those, if anything gets stopped on the spread widening. XTB10, so the spreads last night, I was looking around the same time. The spreads were about 4 or 5 pips on the euro, but I was looking around the markets and there was some even worse than that. FXCM, which is the data that you're underlying on my main chart here, that went up to 0.7, 0.8 at one stage, or 7 or 8 pips at one stage. So you do see some wide old spreads at times, but we'll see how it goes. But just interesting in terms of perception. Also, I mean, you could possibly out trade it. There's some people, if you don't like what you look at, you'll take all off at 1 to 1, so or half off at 1 to 1. So it's very different. When I actually tested the strategy, I literally went through on a basis of I didn't care what it was doing. When I tested strategy, I look on a chart like this. So I look at nothing else. I just literally take the strategy off basically a 34 moving average and a blank chart. So it's a price related strategy. And that's how I took it. I take into account nothing like news. I mean, yesterday the trade came in quite early. What time did we get in? At 20 past 10, and there was news out yesterday. So I've ignored everything. So it's just as it is. But this one yesterday, you could have said if you're sitting there, okay, I'll take it out. It hit the euro yesterday. It hit this area up here, which was the 1 to 1 area. Never got to its 2 to 1. It hit this area here, and that was it done. And there was a speaker, obviously ECB speaker, speaking. So here we are. Anyway, just a discussion point as much as anything else. Be interested in hear other views, of course. Okay, so the euro is working its way down potentially towards target. One thing I've noticed on the target, I've got a daily pivot here sitting at 21.46. My target was around about 21.47. I think had put it as. Now I'm looking at looked at the daily pivot on over here. It's 21.50, and then I realised, around about 21.50, and then I realised I've got the incorrect calculation on the original chart. What I'm going to do, if it does come down here, I'll take out 3. I mean, it's not going to be many pips between the two. I may even just close it off on the 21.50. It's 3 pips difference, and it's my error. The thing is all. Whoops, sorry, just changing the wrong charts here. All I'm trying to do is hit this, not that one, the daily pivot, and the correct calculation is sitting here at 21.50 ish. So I will look at that if it gets there. Now I've mentioned it, it's gone shy. That's the best thing not to do, is look at the trade. So I managed to just record something here and managed not to have the volume switched on. So on that basis, I'm just over recording this last part of the video. On that basis, I've just closed out this trade. I was up during the day at different levels, and it's been sitting all around the place, not really doing anything. I'm about 6 points as I'm going to finish this recording off. The risk is here that it's not really doing what it's supposed to have been doing. It's just dancing around, chopping. It's been in a quite tight old range. The risk is if it just carries on dilly-dallying about, it could push a bit higher. I could get stopped without the actual hive be taken out, because with a load of brokers they widen their spread slightly towards the end of the shift. So on that basis, it's just not worth me trying to hold in. It's taken all day long to do something in the region of 30 pips, so it's a very small move for the euro over the day. And as I said, with the risk of being stopped out without the stop actually being taken out, I've just called it a day. Now it might still go on, and that's the risk you take when you close out something like this. But at the end of the day, it was a day trade, and I'm quite happy being out of it for now. Now, as I said, the stop will be taken out. I'm just remembering what I've said as I've carried on, obviously recording this for some time, and just looking at what else I was talking about here. So there is that risk of being taken out. So as I say, it closed it off there actually for a few pips less. So it's around about 0.25 R by the time I've closed this trade off. Now, that's pretty much it actually. Got nothing more to say on that. As I said, it's been a very dull old day. The euro has been the second strongest currency all day long. As I'm sure I'm going to bring the clip in just a moment. This is the problem of doing a recording and then for having the sound switched off and then clicking OK. But as you can see, it's run up today as far as its daily 500 there. May still have potential to carry pushing on this movement. If you look at the dollar index has broken through its key moving averages there. Yes, it's had an update today, but it's still in a firm downward trend, so we could just see that rolling over. If we, as I say, if we look at the comparison, the heat map of the currencies, if I can just bring that in. Just taking a few seconds, there we go, and there it is. And see the euro and the dollar, both the strongest currencies today. Maybe should have picked the fight somewhere else, but there we go. So out of that position. If you want to join Charlie and myself next week, we've got 2 days in our live trading room available for you free of charge. Just come and join us. I will put a link at the bottom of this video, so look below, there will be a link. I wish you all a very good weekend, and I will be back on Monday for a live outlooks in the morning, which you can pick up on YouTube, and wish you all the best. Bye for now.